Okay, I got to pull the heads off this 95 Mustang. This is the same one that I put the $50 stop leak in. It held for a while, but now it's getting to the point it's building pressure in the cooling system. The way the cooling system is made, you have to back off this screw here in order to fill it up. It gets full of air, then it goes to running hot. I just undid the cap on it, and it had pressure built up in it where we cranked it up and pulled it up on the blocks. So I'm gonna get started on it, and I'll be doing updates along. I'm not gonna try to film the whole thing of tearing it down. Basically, we're just taking stuff off. I'll stop every little bit and give you an update. So we'll be back with you shortly. Okay, I got the upper intake off after a whole lot of finagling. And now we're going to go at it getting the front off of the motor and getting some of these wires out of the way so we can get to stuff. We'll be back with you shortly. Okay, I got a whole lot of static on pulling the water pump off this thing about everybody wanting to pull that there pulley right there off to get this bracket off. But now I'm going to show you how to do it in steps here without having to pull that pulley. Now I've got my socket down there on the bottom bolt on this bracket. Now I'm going to turn the camera off and go ahead and take it out, and then I'll be back with you in a minute. Okay, right there's the bottom bolt out of the bracket. I got my socket on top bolt. So I'm going to go ahead and pull it out, and then I'll be back with you. Okay, right there's the top bolt out of it. Got a 15mm head, and the socket is on the nut on the stud, and I'll run it out here in a minute. Clear, all my lights dying on me. Anyhow, then I'll show you maybe taking it off. Okay. Alright, be back with you in a minute. Okay. Right here is the nut off of the stud. And here's the two nuts off of the water pump bolts. I realize that you don't have to pull the power steering pump to put the water pump on, but you've got to pull it to get these heads off. So I have got it all broke loose. We just slide her forward right there. Alright, and there it is out of the way to where you can put, you can put the water pump on with that thing sitting there and not have to pull that confounded pulley and put it back on. Anyhow, we'll be back with you shortly. Get some more done on it. Okay, I got a little more of this thing off now. All of these wiring cables, the injector rail, water hoses and everything's all intertwined, and everything has to come off together. Can't just take off one piece and go on and leave that be. So hopefully once we get most of that off, we'll be down to where we can get the intake off, the bottom intake. And pretty well cleared up over here. The biggest thing I got left is to take exhaust manifold loose. So we'll be back with you shortly. Okay, I'm finally down to where I can pull the lower intake manifold, and then we'll get it, we'll be ready to take the exhaust manifolds loose and then pull the heads. So we'll be back with you shortly. Okay, got the intake off of it, and I got one valve cover off. Got the exhaust manifolds unhooked. So as soon as I get the rocker arms off and the push rods out, I'll be ready to take the heads off. So we'll be back with you shortly. In order to keep all my rocker arms and push rods in sequence, I use egg carton, put the rocker arms inside in order, then knock holes in it and stick the push rods in order. I see one push rod I got trouble with, so anyhow we'll be back with you shortly. Okay, I got the heads off this Mustang now, and this is one off the right side. It's pretty good shape. The gasket looked pretty good. And it's the one before that blew last time I did any work on it. But when I pulled the spark plug wires off of it, all three plugs on this side, the center electrodes pulled out and stayed in the wires. And so I don't know whether you can see it there or not, but that spark plug says auto light on it. So that's turned me off on auto light spark plugs here all of a sudden. Like I say, this is the right side head. This is the left side head. And right there is the head gasket off of the left side. It blew out back there. And this back cylinder here, which is number 6, is the one that was where she blew, and that's where she wasn't running. I've checked them pretty close, can't find no cracks in the head. But I'm going to take the heads and get them resurfaced again. And also one plug on this side, the center electrode pulled out when I pulled the wires off of it. So I reckon we about ready to start ordering parts here. I'll pull this head gasket up here again. Right there is where she blew and blew into the water chamber, and that's where it was blowing water out. We'll be back with you when we get ready to start putting it together. Talk to you later. Bye. This is a 3.8 liter head that I had shaved. See if I'm in the right spot there. They shaved it, they took 9 thousandths off of it. And that's the second time this head's been shaved. So I'm going to put these shims under them. These right here, made by Felpro to raise 20 thousandths. I think that'll be put it back about stock height. But since they've been through a hot water washer, I'm going to take all the valve springs off and put new valve seals on them and be sure my stems are lubricated. First thing I'm going to do is take this socket and smack each one of the valves like that. And most of the time those keepers are stuck in the valve or stuck in this retainer, and when you take them loose with a valve spring compressor, then they'll fly all over the place, and I don't feel like chasing none of them down today. Get my compressor set up here. Get it fit to the valves. Let's see how the way it feels. I need to tighten up on him just another little click. Like that. Okay, keepers come out a whole lot easier then. Yeah, see, there's very little lubrication on that stem, and that could cause some wear whenever we crank it up. So, got that off. Maybe a screwdriver will pop that off. There we go. One valve seal off. One new one installed. And get my tube of grease open here. This is engine assembly lube. So, a little bit up here. Shoot a little bit in that valve seal. Put a little bit on this. Okay. Get our keepers back in. Just like that. Let off on it. Got one done. Okay. Go ahead and pop this one loose. There's another dry stem. So I feel like it's well worth my time to go ahead and do this and save those valve guides. So anyhow, I'm going to turn you off because I've got to do this 7 more times on this head, and then I've got to do the other head. So we'll be back with you.